ready? 1, 2, 1, 2. Buenos días y bienvenidos. Hola, mi gente. How is your spirit today? Okay, that's telling. I don't know how folks online are doing. I hope they'll put it in the chat, but it's a little bit subdued here in the sanctuary today. It is subdued but warm because the heat is working. So, woo! And then soon we will continue our journey to being carbon neutral by 2040. Our Universalist heritage proposed that each person is made of divine goodness. Science offers that we just might be stardust. Whatever your beliefs, know that you are a gift and you are inherently worthy of love. I'm so glad that you made it here today. Love is the spirit of all souls, and in this moment of our shared journey, may you feel witnessed and honored wherever you are on that journey. I invite you now to please rise in body or spirit and greet neighbors, especially our new or visiting folks, with our name and our pronouns. This is fun. It's good to see you. How you doing? Ooh, I'm so sorry, Jane. Good morning, Mary. How are you? It's good to see you. It's all right. It's all right. I mostly just wanted to check in on you because I know there was like a huge wind up. We might need to do a fast transition, and then.
Good morning, and welcome to all who are with us in the moment and to those who are catching us later on. I am Jane Gosling, a member of the Welcoming Congregations team. My pronouns are she, her. I will be serving as the worship associate along with John Murphy, pronouns he, him, for today's service, together with Reverend Katie Romano-Griffin, our senior minister, whose pronouns are she, Aya, and Gabe Perbieri, music director. We are your worship team on the chancel today. People of all ages are joyfully welcomed in the service, but nursery care is available if that option works better for you. I invite everyone to please complete a connection card that you can see at the end of the pews. This card is a great way to let us know if you would like support, need assistance, have new contact information, or have an interest, comment, or question. Please place it in the offering basket later in the service. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jane. So I wanted to announce, many of you remember a couple of weeks back, we voted to add a halftime admin position to our staff team, but our administrator, Mariah, is so busy, we haven't even had time to post the position. So Ben Rayhill, one of our own, as many of you know, is in between places right now. So Ben is actually going to be helping out in the office 20 hours a week for the next 6 weeks or so that we can get some things off of Mariah's plate as we're putting the new roof on and doing all kinds of other things, and then we'll officially post that position. So if you get a call from Ben Rayhill, he really is calling on behalf of the church, and he'll also be glad to talk to you. We also have 2 new folks who will be sharing the AV Tech position. Bella is not here today, but many of you know Bella Jones, and we have Reese up in the booth today with Nathan and Gail. So welcome, Reese. Folks who are visitors today, you're welcome to hang out in the social hall for coffee hour, or there's a room off to the side, our beautiful library. There's going to be a visitor circle in there. So there'll be folks who can answer your questions about All Souls. If you wanted to hang out in there, meet other visitors and chat, grab some coffee, grab a bite to eat, and head into the library. Now, mi gente, so many of you have said that you would like something to do. Like right now, you just want to have something to do. And you know, there's lots of different ways that we can resist systems of oppression. We can directly fight systems of oppression. We can rest our bodies and act sustainably. Thank you, Nat Bishop. Rest is resistance. And we can also create joy. On December 14th, it's probably going to take all of us to make this happen. But on December 14th, Rev Dorian and I, and we've invited some other UU ministers and a UCC minister to join us, but we will be officiating wedding services for folks in the queer community who feel like they need to get married before January. They're moving their timelines up, and also for folks in the immigrant community. Now, of course, I can offer services in Spanish or English, and Rev Dorian also speaks French. So Spanish, English, and French, if anyone you know is looking to move up the timeline of their service, we have the ability to create love and joy and to affirm love and joy as we head into the holiday season and head into January. We want to have an amazing reception in the social hall. We want folks to be able to come in and feel loved and supported and joy. And you know, particularly in the queer community, religion has caused so much harm, and we have the ability to invite people in and affirm their holiness. That is a huge gift. And then sanctify unions. So please, I'm going to be on vacation this week, but you can reach out to Rev Dorian D. Condre at allsoulsindy.org and let him know if you would like to be a part of that special day. You don't have to be a member to come help out that day. Visitors, we welcome you. It's going to take all of us to make this amazing. And to help people who have dreamed of a service that they've wanted but now have to let go of that dream to meet an earlier timeline, really have a special day. So please, please come help out with that. And I also want to let you know we need lots of volunteers. You're going to get an email from me tomorrow. I shot a video, and it's going to have all this information in it, so don't worry if you don't remember. You know, as Project 2025 rolls out, there will be food shortages. There will be disruptions in the food chain. So I would love for us to clear out a section of the basement and start gathering water and canned goods, and to begin practicing getting together as community, using our space and cooking. Oh, hello, thank you. To start cooking together as community, and those food stores will come in handy if there are disruptions in the food chain. And they'll already be there. We'll be building it slowly, inch by inch. You know, before the election, we talked about the phases of disaster where when there's a big change, we want to hoard things. We don't want to do that. But we do want to start to slowly build some supplies so we can support folks in our community and surrounding our community. As we continue our time together, let us acknowledge the land itself and those who've sustained it throughout the generations. We are upon the unceded land of the Lenape, Miamia, Kaskaskia, Shawnee, and Kickapoo people who were pushed from their land and whose children have been stolen for generations. We strive to be a community of justice, and as we do so, may we continue to find ways to make real reparations. I gift to you these words by David Breeden, titled, "Yes, There's No Binary." The road not taken is not a fork. That's too simple a thought, flipping some coin. Either or, nope. It's not this or that, no or yes. It's nor neither, and all of the above and more. The road taken goes every way at once. There, they, them, go, now, live.
So I would like to invite my wife, Jane, and members of the welcoming congregation to join me up here to light the chalice. While they're coming up, let me say a few words about lighting our chalice. When we do this, it reminds us to continually renew our promise to live into our covenant and to put love into action and to live out the community of love and justice we aim to be. And I'd like to invite you now, please rise in body or spirit as we recite our covenant on the wall behind us. We'll say it in Spanish first and then in English. The words are printed in your order of service, so please join me.
El amor es el espíritu de esta iglesia y el servicio es su ley. Vivir juntos en paz, buscar la verdad en el amor y ayudarnos unos a otros. Este es nuestro pacto. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. To dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. This is our covenant.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jane and team.
We're going to be reading Jacob's New Dress by Sarah and Ian Hoffman, illustrated by Chris Case. Jacob ran to join Emily in the dress-up corner. Emily slid into a shiny yellow dress, while Jacob wiggled into a sparkly pink dress. They both reached for the crown, but Jacob got there first. "I'll be the princess," he said. Christopher frowned. "Jacob, why do you always wear girl clothes? Put on some knight armor. That's what the boy wears." "Christopher, stop telling us what to do," said Emily.
Miss Wilson heard the hubbub. "What's going on, kids?"
"Jacob is wearing girl clothes," complained Christopher.
"The dress-up corner is where we come to use our imagination," Miss Wilson said. "You can be a dinosaur, a princess, a farmer, anything. Christopher, what do you want to be?"
"A boy," Christopher scowled.
Miss Wilson smiled. "Jacob, you try it. What new thing could you imagine being? A firefighter? A policeman?"
"Mrs. Wilson," Jacob said proudly, "I'm the princess."
"How was school today?" Mom asked, studying Jacob's face. "Fun?"
"Christopher says boys can't wear dresses," said Jacob. "Can they?"
"Of course they can." Mom hugged Jacob. "Why don't you get the dress you wore to Halloween and play in that?"
Jacob pulled on his witch's dress and twirled. He loved the way the black lace swirled around him. "I want to wear my dress to school."
Jacob's mom frowned. "I don't think so," she said. "That's for dress up at home. It would get dirty at school."
"Then can I get a regular dress? A dress I can wear to school?"
Mom was quiet. "Let me think about that," she said.
Jacob wondered what to play next. Pirate, princess, bird. Heaping 3 towels onto the floor, Jacob made a nest. Then he wrapped another towel around himself for feathers. Snug and warm, he imagined what a school dress would look like. The next morning, Jacob stood on the stairs, wrapped in a giant bath towel. "What are you wearing?"
Asked Mom.
"It's like a dress, but I can get it dirty," Jacob said, pointing to the towel. "I made it."
Dad frowned. "You can't go to school like that." "Put on some shorts and a shirt under the dress thing," Mom said, "and hurry, we're late for school."
"What's that?" demanded Christopher. Jacob moved closer to his mom.
"Good morning, Christopher," said Jacob's mom. "Jacob's wearing something new he invented. Isn't it nice?"
Christopher didn't answer. "I want a dress like that," cried Emily. "Where'd you get it?" "It's not a dress," said Jacob. "It's a dress thing." Jacob saw Emily smile and grinned back. "I can make you one." The playground was full of laughter and running feet as the children played tag. Christopher sneaked up and yanked off Jacob's towel and ran away whooping. "Christopher is mean," hissed Emily. Jacob watched Christopher wave around the towel like a captured flag and started to cry.
"How was school today?" Mom asked.
"Christopher stole my dress thing," said Jacob. The tears flooded back.
Mom hugged Jacob. "I'm sorry. Christopher's not always a good friend."
"Mom, can you help me make a real dress?" Mom didn't answer. The longer she didn't answer, the less Jacob could breathe.
Let's get the sewing machine," she finally said.
Jacob felt the air refill his body. He grinned.
Mom smiled back. "There are all sorts of ways to be a boy," she said, "right?" Dad looked up from his book.
"Mom and I made a dress," Jacob said quietly.
Dad studied the dress. Jacob started to get that can't breathe feeling again. I can see you worked hard on that dress, said Dad. Are you sure you want to wear it to school?
Jacob nodded.
Dad nodded back and smiled. Well, it's not what I would wear, but you look great.
Jacob skipped up to the front walk to school. He found Emily inside and showed her his new dress. They found matching colors and laughed. Purple and white. Do you want to play dress up? Asked Emily. No, monkey bars. Together they ran out to the playground. Mom and I made this dress, Jacob said proudly at circle time.
That's wonderful.
We used her sewing machine.
That's wonderful, said Miss Wilson. Was the sewing machine hard to use?
Why does Jacob wear dresses? Interrupted Christopher.
Miss Wilson paused. I think Jacob wears what makes him comfortable, just like you do. Not very long ago, little girls couldn't wear pants. Can you imagine that?
Christopher shook his head. I asked my dad, and he says boys don't wear dresses. Jacob rubbed the hem of his dress, looking at the little stitches he'd sewn himself. He could hear Miss Wilson and the other kids talking, but their words sounded far away. On the playground, Christopher yelled, "Let's play tag! Boys versus girls. Jacob, you're on the girls' team." A bunch of kids laughed. Jacob felt his dress surrounding him, like armor, magic, cottony armor. Christopher, I made this dress, and I'm proud of it, and I'm going to wear it. And you know what else? Jacob tagged Christopher. You're it! Jacob sprinted across the playground, his dress spreading out like wings.
The end.
You guys already know this song, and we have the text in the order of celebration, so please sing with me. I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. Let's stand up and sing together, yeah. I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. I'm not the things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. 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 I'm not the mistakes that I have made, or any other things that cause me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I left behind. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light. the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside is all light. I am 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 divinity defined. I am the God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light.
1, 2. Oh, hello. Thank you, Gabe. That was beautiful. Please join me in taking a few moments to note that which is currently bringing a joy or a sorrow in your life. Sometimes we get so caught up in grind culture that we take our emotions and we box them up so we can go on and do the next thing. And beloveds, I promise you that your boxes will leak. You cannot keep stuffing stuff in a box. So today, in this moment, I invite you to open those boxes enough that is comfortable for you and to care for your bodies as we hold you in community. We wish Nancy Bainey a happy birthday. Nancy's birthday is tomorrow. We hold in our hearts the Hochstetler family. Many of you may remember them. Don has entered hospice, and we especially hold his wife, Jean, in our hearts. We hold in our hearts the people of Palestine and Lebanon and Iran who are continuing to endure ongoing violence. We hold the people of Livingston County, Michigan, in our hearts as they wrestle with and recover from acts of anti-Semitism that they endured this last week. And let us hold a moment of silence together for the joys and the sorrows in our hearts that are yet unnamed. And the choir will sing a special song to us as we allow those boxes to open. May you be held in a larger love and remember that you are never alone.
silence can be a little uncomfortable, right? But that's so important. The choir is going to perform a piece called Kyrie. This piece is part of a mass. In music, we have a form of composition in which follow a mass, traditional mass. And Kyrie is the one piece in which people are asking for mercy. God, have mercy of us, of our society, of everything. And if it's not God to you, it's something else probably. So enjoy this piece and wrestle a little with the silence and your own thoughts.
That was a balm for my soul. Thank you so much, choir. Jane, John, and I have some words from the Unitarian Universalist Association side with love to share with you, and you have a part too. When you see us do this, your words are, "We bear witness." We bear witness. Thank you. We people gathered here today on the quest for truth and meaning bear witness. We bear witness.
To the record of human lives extinguished simply because these people dared to live authentically,
We bear witness.
To the lives and reported deaths of 320 transgender people in 2023,
We bear witness
to the lives and reported deaths of transgender people in these United States so far this year.
We bear witness to the unreported ones, the uncounted ones, the unnamed many whose lives and deaths will only ever be known by the universe. We bear witness.
In these times of heightened anxiety, we gather here today to reject the teachings of division and ignorance and to commit to siding with love against hatred.
We bear witness
Against closed-minded ideologies that excuse evil acts in the name of religion.
We bear witness against any administration that seeks to fuel their rise to power by threatening the lives of transgender, genderqueer, and non-binary people. We bear witness
Against systemic power structures that treat transgender, genderqueer, and non-binary people, particularly those who are people of color, as being anything less than human.
We bear witness.
On this day, we who are queer folk and allies gathered together uphold the first principle that speaks to the inherent worth and dignity of every person.
We bear witness for those transgender, genderqueer, and non-binary people who are gathered among us today. We bear witness
For those who are allied to the cause of protecting our transgender, genderqueer, and non-binary siblings.
We bear witness
For those who exist boldly, unapologetically, in public space as fully authentic transgender, genderqueer, and non-binary people.
We bear witness. I invite you to speak any names of those which you wish to hold in the light this day as I hold a moment of silence.
These remembered deaths have not gone unnoticed by us. We bear witness.
Sacred, transgender, genderqueer, and non-binary lives do not go unnoticed by us.
We bear witness.
Thank you.
Let's stand up and sing together We Walk in Love, which is our new song for us. But the choir already sung for us in the prelude, so it's going to be the second time, not the first. We walk in love, united in purpose. We join our hands and lift up one voice. We speak the truth with strength and compassion, resounding with hope, with courage and joy. We cry for peace and rights for all people. We welcome friends from far and from near. We fight for those whose voices are silenced, resisting in faith until all is free. We dream a world of justice and kindness. We build a bridge, creating new path. We march with joy as all walk together.
You know, we're getting really good at singing things we've never sung before. So I just want to congratulate us. We got to count our wins, mi gente, and that is a win. I also feel like it's a good day for swag. We're going to play a little quick game in a second, and you should get swag for participating. So there's a limited number of keychains here, and each has one of our values on the back, and of course, love, which is at the center of our value structure on the front. And then we have these totally awesome progress flag, pride chalices from the UUA. So John and Jane, can I hand these to you, and would you please bring those down as we start to play? So this is a game. We're going to call it Agree, Disagree, or Agree to Disagree. So show of hands. Coffee is best as dark and delicious as possible. Agree. Yes. Disagree. You are wrong, but I love you. How about agree to disagree? Okay. Chocolate is a necessity of life. Agree. Disagree. Okay, I'll make homemade chocolate for you and then we'll see. Agree to disagree. Okay. Abortion is health care. Agree. Disagree. Agree to disagree. Thank you very much. Agree to disagree doesn't work when we're talking about human rights. Our country is more divided than ever. Our faith calls us to believe that we are all born of goodness and all naturally pulled to do good in this world. And it can be really hard to hold on to that belief, especially when people, some of them whom we love, are spewing hate. How do we stop the hate and preserve the relationship enough to help move people towards love? How do we hold people in a field of love and hold them accountable? Numero uno, do not engage in spaces when you are not safe. Love doesn't call us to be abused by people who are supposed to love us. That is bad theology. That said, I also want to invite you into the world of difficult conversations. There's a meme going around in different forms on social media right now that says, we can agree to disagree is reserved for things like, I don't like coffee, not racism, not homophobia, not sexism, not basic human rights. There are limitations to this phrase, let's agree to disagree. And it can sound reasonable sometimes, and it can serve as a shield in conversations. But as Unitarian Universalists, we are called to affirm the inherent worth and dignity of every person. So how do we navigate these disagreements? And when is it right to agree to disagree? And when is it an abdication of our moral and our religious responsibility? According to the Conflict Journey blog, agree to disagree is complex. It may actually be us expressing a variety of feelings like frustration, fatigue, or even a need to protect themselves from harm when someone utters this. Someone who utters this may feel that the conversation is unproductive or that further discussion could damage the relationship. Let me be clear, it is okay to set boundaries and say, not now, or we can talk about this later. In our youth culture, when something happens, we have a plan. Like if perhaps there's a microaggression in the space, you can say, ouch, and the person that has done the thing says, oops, and then you gather together to talk about it. It works really well in youth culture. But shutting a conversation down that affects human rights for the sake of creating peace creates neither peace nor safety. And it does not deepen your relationships. When we agree to disagree on matters of justice and human rights, we are shutting down something that needs to happen. We're allowing discomfort to outweigh accountability and clarity. Now, mi gente, for those of us who hold marginalized identities, man, we're gonna be tired by the end of the day, right? And agree to disagree sometimes is like, look, you were on my last nerve, or my last nerve sailed many moons ago, and if I even open my mouth, I mean, maybe I'm just speaking about myself here. If I even open my mouth, it's not gonna be pretty. I cannot hold my Long Island Latina back anymore. The earrings are gonna come off, and there's gonna be some words. Look, I get like that at the end of the day sometimes, and I know that's not necessarily productive. So for those of us with marginalized identities, that's where we can say the not now. But y'all who have more privileged identities, these words are for you. I invite you to consider what you're prioritizing in that moment, and if you're prioritizing comfort, are you prioritizing connection, are you prioritizing justice, truth, and dignity? Entering into difficult conversations is actually an affirmation of love. And it is an affirmation of trust. We are often taught that conflict is bad. This is something I've had to adjust to living in the Midwest, because between my identities and growing up in New York, like, you even go to the deli and people are like, what are you talking about? What are you thinking? Like, that's that's like hello and a hug. And here in the Midwest, I know there's like, well, let's try to like keep the temperature low. And you might have been taught that it is a bad thing to trouble the waters. But when you trouble the waters and you engage challenging conversations, transformation can happen. And our faith supports us in doing that. And in fact, our faith calls us to do it. And if you're new here, you might be thinking, I want to run, because Unitarian Universalism, we can't promise you any for sure answers, and we call you to do work all the time. Because we are constantly growing beings, and we always have to try to figure out what the next best right thing and to try to do that. So there's also something in our culture about disagreement for the sake of disagreeing and debating, and I'm not talking about those kinds of conversations. I am talking about maintaining an open mind, doing as Valerie Kaur says, and letting someone's story into our hearts, and then speaking from love and a higher truth. These are not one and done conversations, if only that were true. These are conversations that may need to happen over time, and make space for that. James Baldwin offers some advice by saying, we can disagree and still love each other unless your disagreement is rooted in my oppression and denial of my humanity and right to exist. Hold on to Baldwin. This is a fundamental truth, and Baldwin is drawing a line that reminds us that not all disagreements are created equally. Some disagreements are rooted in deep systems of oppression that undermine humanity. To love someone, to be in relationship with someone, doesn't mean we have to accept everything they say or believe without question. Love calls us to question each other, to help each other grow, and create conditions where everyone's humanity is recognized and honored. This means that when someone expresses a belief that's harmful to another person's dignity or worth, love requires us to speak. The Conflict Journey blog offers some suggestions. When someone you love says, let's agree to disagree, you may gently ask, what is your main concern? What's got you wanting to stop talking about this issue right now? So instead of assuming their reasons, we create space for them to share where they're coming from. Curiosity can be very disarming. We might learn that they're feeling overwhelmed, that they need a break, or that they're worried about damaging the relationship, and this approach invites honesty and vulnerability. It allows us to address underlying concerns that might otherwise go unspoken. For instance, if someone says, I feel like, and this is from the blog, I feel like we're not making any progress, you can respond by saying, I understand. I believe that progress doesn't always mean agreement. Progress doesn't always mean agreement. It's okay to walk away from a conversation without a Disney moment. And if someone says, I need a break, or if you need a break, then take a break and calendarize the conversation later. Doesn't mean agreeing to put a lid on the conversation. In a truly inclusive community, we can hold both accountability and compassion. Compassion means we approach each other with care, with a willingness to listen and an understanding that people may need time to change. Accountability means we don't let harmful beliefs go unchecked. We accept all people, not all behaviors. Being loving and compassionate doesn't mean being a doormat. Hard conversations save lives and stop the spread of hate. We can practice the work here within these walls. Church is a laboratory for making mistakes, making things right, and loving others into being as we are loved into being. So if you notice someone is repeating something harmful, stop for a moment, take a breath, and then lean in to that conversation, because agreeing to disagree might preserve a superficial peace, but it also risks allowing harm to go unchallenged. Instead, maybe say, as the Conflict Journey blog recommends, I care about you and I want us to stay connected. But this belief is hurtful to people in our community. Can we talk more about why this belief matters to you and what it means for others? This is challenging work, but in doing so, we honor our principles of compassion, equity, and justice. We create a space where we can disagree, but only in ways that do not undermine the dignity or safety of others. And you know, I'm saying these things with a gentle voice. And you might be afraid to enter into these conversations because you might be afraid that your emotion is going to show. Well, we are emotional beings. And it's okay for your emotions to show. Let them. We must be willing to embrace discomfort if we're going to grow together. And growth often comes from facing hard truths within our own hearts, our community, and the community at large. It comes from wrestling with dissonance between who we are and who we aspire to be. In Spanish, sometimes we talk about la lucha, the struggle that we are always engaged in. Sometimes it is an internal struggle, sometimes it is a struggle with the larger community. As a community of faith, we are called to be brave and to speak truth in love. We are called to wrestle with our disagreements, not put them aside when they become inconvenient or uncomfortable. May we be a people who, even in difficult times, face difficult conversations, choosing to stay connected. May we be people who hold each other accountable with compassion, honoring the worth and dignity of all. May we move forward, not by agreeing to disagree, on matters of justice, but by committing to the hard work of love, the kind of love that transforms, that heals, and that brings us all a little closer to wholeness. Amen, y amen, and blessed be. This week, we're sharing our offering plate with the Black Church Coalition, which works to reduce the waste of human potential in this community that is caused by gun violence and mass incarceration. And I will also tell you that the Black Church Coalition is organizing right now, big time. And look, for those of you who don't know this, when people in the US that are white-bodied don't listen to Black women, bad things happen. So, we are taking lead on behalf of the Unitarian Universalist congregations in this area on working with the Black Church Coalition. Gabe and I literally are the only two religious professionals of color that are Unitarian Universalists in the state of Indiana. I appreciate that, but that to me is unacceptable. And we want to create an Indiana that is safe for people of color, and it is not. Part of why some of our religious professionals of color don't come here is because it is not safe for us. And I invite you to receive this with love, because I mean it from a place of love. Do you know that I love you all? Truly, I hope you do. Okay, good. Because of the way we are programmed sometimes in society, it becomes harder to listen to people of color, particularly women of color, when we speak. And I invite you to listen more deeply, because things are coming with the rollout of Project 2025. Please listen deeply to my words. Listen deeply to the words of the Black Church Coalition, because together we can create a radically different Indiana and a radically different United States if we truly listen and do the work. Now, the Black Church Coalition, they need to raise $1,000 ASAP. That is one of the reasons why we changed our share of the plate to the Black Church Coalition. We need to get a trainer here from Georgia to help us prepare. So I'm inviting you today, generous, beloved people, to please give generously with cash or check or online. Whatever you can do helps get us closer to that $1,000 goal, because we do have some work to do. We have some preparing to do. You're going to be hearing a lot more from me in the coming weeks on the work ahead and ways that we can plug in and help with prophetic witness and providing mutual aid support. I'm also available for anyone who is here today or anyone you love who needs to develop a safety plan in this time. And I will also be working with our beloveds in the Black Church Coalition on safety plans for those who need them. Community and empathy are the antidotes to empire. Let's do the work.
We will be singing "We Would Be One" from the Gray Hymnal.
We would be one, as now we join in singing one hymn of love to pledge ourselves anew to that high cause of greater understanding of who we are and what in us is true. We would be one in living for each other show to all a new community. We are be one in building for tomorrow, a nobler world than we have known today. We would be one in searching for the meaning which binds our hearts and points us on our way. As one we pledge ourselves to greater service, with love and justice strive to make us free.
Of Joanna Macy. Active hope is not wishful thinking. Active hope is not waiting to be rescued by some savior. Active hope is waking up to the beauty of life on whose behalf we can act. We belong to this world. The web of life is calling us forth at this time. We've come a long way and are here to play our part. With active hope, we realize that there are adventures in store, strengths to discover, and friends to link arms with. Active hope is a readiness to discover the strengths in ourselves and in others, a readiness to discover the reasons for hope and occasions for love, a readiness to discover the size and strength of our hearts and quickness of mind, our steadiness of purpose, our own authority, our love for life, the liveliness of our curiosity, the unsuspected, deep well of patience and diligence, the keenness of our senses and our capacity to lead. None of these can be discovered in an armchair without risk.
Spirit to sing. As the choir's coming forward, please stand in body or spirit as we sing from the teal hymnal this time, 1028, The Fire of Commitment.